It's an ER visit Lee Fava says left her with a large bill.
It was just outrageous. $700 for a shot?
Unanswered questions.
So there were all sorts of things on that bill I wanted to dispute, but I couldn't even get a person to respond to me.
And a poorly wrapped bandage.
When I went home, I literally took off their bandage, washed it out with soap and water, and put Neosporin on it myself, because that was actually more than what was done for me in the emergency room.
Fava went to the ER in November 2021 after injuring her thumb while on her front deck.
Obviously, when you have an injury like that, the first thing you need is a tetanus shot. And so, among other things that were done as far as ointments and things like that, they did give me a tetanus shot, but they ultimately charged me almost $700 for it.
She says there were a few items on her bill that just didn't add up, even though she works in the medical field.
I wanted to dispute the tetanus shot because I thought it was outrageous. I wanted to dispute the level 4 emergency room fee because this was not a level 4 injury. This was a level 1. This was basic. And I also wanted to dispute the medication that I was charged for that I did not actually get.
In emergency rooms, patients are coded at certain levels depending on the severity of injuries and the diagnostic tests done. The higher the level, usually the higher the cost. Despite sending letters and calling the hospital, Fava says she was ignored. She reluctantly paid her remaining balance, around $785, to avoid it impacting her credit, but wants a refund and answers from hospital administrators.
Lee, how would you describe this entire ordeal in one word?
Disappointing. Very disappointing. I am not in a financial hardship because of this, but I know for a fact that there are people out there who are getting billed like this on a regular basis.
Surprises on medical billing is an issue medical billing experts say patients have battled for years. The Department of Health and Human Services says more than half of consumers in the U.S. report having received an unexpected large bill. And according to the Kaiser Family Foundation's most recent poll, 58% of adults say they're worried about unexpected medical bills.
In KFF polling, 6 in 10 adults reported worrying about affording unexpected medical bills, and so unexpected medical bills are pervasive among people with and without health insurance.
You work specifically reviewing medical records as part of your job.
I do.
And for you, this is complicated.
I know what I'm looking for when I look at a medical bill, and I know the language. I know how to say, I want an itemized statement, not a bill. I know the difference, and I know how to tell people what it is that they need to give me in order to get me to satisfy a bill, and it didn't matter.
We discussed Fava's situation with Dr. Elizabeth Rosenthal, editor-in-chief of Kaiser Health News.
When she got her bill back, she saw a lot of things on there that just didn't make any sense. She was charged, or it appeared that she went to a level 4 emergency when all she had was a thumb injury.
Right. Now, this is something you can successfully argue back against. If you know all they did was put a Band-Aid on a cut and maybe wash it out a little bit, a level 4 emergency room visit, there are parameters for that. You have to be seen for a certain length of time. There has to be an intense level of care. You know that that didn't happen, so you can say, this wasn't level 4, this was more like a level 2.
Sometimes you have no choice but to go to the ER, but Dr. Rosenthal says if you can, look at alternative ways of getting treatment.
If you have a cut on your hand or you think you just need stitches, go to urgent care, because every little thing that's done to you in an emergency room, whether it's a CAT scan or putting on a Band-Aid, is probably going to be upcharged by a factor of 10. So, and that's hard to argue because ERs are allowed to charge a lot for things.
We reach out to the hospital ourselves to see if they could address Fava's situation. In a statement, the hospital said a thorough investigation of the billing charges has been reviewed and found all identified charges are appropriate. They went on to say they identified one item where Fava was undercharged, but they will not be pursuing additional reimbursement from Fava or her insurance carrier. Fava says she had little hope that the hospital administrators would give her a refund, but that's not stopping her from sharing her story. She wants to help other patients avoid a complicated and sometimes costly ER visit.
I think we need some sort of reform where things are charged as what their actual cost is, or at least somewhere near what their cost is.
For Investigate TV, I'm Caresse Jackman.